Well, I'm guessing they're trying to make us poo our pants. Let's begin. Now today I've got two very scary, so I couldn't say it with a straight face, TV license letters for you. So I'd just like to say a massive thank you to both Garry and Malcolm for sending these in. Okay, now in the top right hand corner, as usual, we've got their very dull TV license logo. Underneath that we've got a reference number, which of course may or may not be fake, and the date, January 2022. Will you be in on the 27th of January? Well, what's it got to do with you if I'll be in or not? Surely now our personal plans don't require a TV licence? Anyway, as there is no... Hang on, where's my dear sir or dear Mr. whoever? Oh, of course it says the legal occupier, which means they're probably clutching at straws because they ain't got a clue who lives there, have they? As there is no record of a TV licence at your address, you should expect a visit from an enforcement officer. Oh, that's scary, isn't it? I'm glad I went to the toilet. In fact, actually, I wish I took this letter in with me. Then I'd have some fancy toilet paper to use, wouldn't I? Anyway, it may be on the 27th of January or on another day. So what's the point in saying, will you be in on the 27th of January if you're not even sure yourself if you're going to be there or not? Can you imagine if, I don't know, someone like Sky TV or another company done that and said, yes, of course, we'll be in there and to install your equipment on the 27th of January, and you obviously waited in all day and of course it didn't turn up? You'd be straight on the phone, wouldn't you? I know I would be. If you are caught watching or recording live TV on any channel or device, you could face a fine of up to £1,000 plus any legal costs / or compensation you may be ordered to pay. The same applies if you are caught downloading or watching programs on iPlayer. But of course, if you're not doing any of those things, then you don't need a TV license. But that sentence, that last one about compensation and things like that, that may actually panic a few people into buying a TV license, which they might not necessarily need. But don't let it panic you. If you don't need one, then you don't need one, whether they like it or not. And in bold, we visit around 8,000 addresses a day. I wonder how many of them actually open the door to you. Our officers visit an address every 6 seconds. Day, evening, weekends, and if no one answers, they can come back. That's okay. We don't have to answer again, do we? Stop a visit before it's too late. Was that too late for us or too late for you? Buy a TV licence at the web address with payments starting from £6 a week. See, this is actually really annoying me now. They never used to say this as much as they do seem to now. £6 a week is nearly double the amount the TV licence costs a month, because £6 a week is obviously £24 a month, but usually you get charged £13.25, I think it is, a month. So for them to put from, which kind of implies that it's the cheapest option, is a disgrace in my opinion, and I don't think they should be allowed to get away with that. Or move an existing licence to your current address at, and the web address again, or at the very bottom option, tell us you don't need a licence. Strange how that's the bottom one, isn't it? At this web address here. And of course, if you're stuck with any of that, for more help of any of the above, please call the number, which I'm surprised isn't in bold. The rest have been, but this one isn't for some reason. Or turn over for more information. If you do not do any of the above, you can expect a visit soon. That's okay, I've got some chocolate hobnobs and some tea, but to be honest with you, I'll be drinking and eating that myself because I'll be waving at the TV licence bloke through the window. I just won't be using all my fingers, that's all. Anyway, yours faithfully, Jane Jeffers, because she gets about a bit, doesn't she? This time she is the enforcement manager for Stoke. And look, they've given one of their very own, BAM! Enforcement visit approved stamps, which obviously is not fake, is it? I mean, that was clearly stamped and not printed with a printer, which to be honest is quite laughable they do that. However, I've got the feeling that the only reason that could be there is possibly to worry some people. I mean, what sort of company just wants to worry people into getting the money? If it was any other company, they'd be on BBC's Watchdog, wouldn't they? Now this one I think takes the mickey a bit because Malcolm has chosen to pay weekly, which is no problem at all. He's currently got a TV licence. However, according to Malcolm, he keeps getting these letters saying that he owes more money even though he is paying weekly. He's just paying them the equivalent cost weekly as what it would be for £159 a year, not the £6 a week that they seem to keep asking people for, which to be honest I don't blame him. Why should he have to pay more? So let's get into this. Okay, we start off in the top right hand corner, the TV licence, dreaded logo. Then of course we've got their address, which quite often isn't actually on the letters itself. Cash Schemes TV, I'll actually buy that. Try to make him feel ashamed that he's paying for it weekly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with how you pay for it, is there? Then we've got the customer number, the TV licence number and the date. In big red letters across the page, urgent. You risk breaking the law. Well, how? He's paying it weekly at the equivalent cost of what it would be of either a month or a year. Dear Mr. Whoever, we are about to cancel your TV license. Well, it saves him doing the job, I suppose, because you have not paid the money you owe for this license. So how would he be breaking the law if you're the ones cancelling the license? And remember, TV license, and in general, it's not actually illegal not to have a TV license, is it? What you have paid only covered you up to the 31st of December in boldlet to make sure you know. You now need to pay £48.80 now to stay licensed. If you do not pay immediately, we will cancel your license. Hang on a minute, he's still got 2 days left. Why can't you cancel it now? Surely he's got 2 days in order to pay. You risk breaking the law. Well, not actually if he doesn't actually need a TV license. And remember, TV licensing, he is paying you. So what's your problem? People should not be penalised for the way they wish to pay. If we cancel your license and you then watch or record live TV programmes on any channel or device, or download or watch BBC programmes on iPlayer, you will be breaking the law. But of course, if you don't do any of that, you'll be totally fine and will save yourself £159 a year, which could actually pay for a decent night out or something nice for you. And this is why we will schedule an enforcement officer, look, in capital letters, the E and the O, to make it seem more official than what it probably is, to visit you if you do not pay now. And in boldlet to scare you even more possibly if they find evidence of illegal activity. Oh really? Well, is that any illegal activity or just the TV license stuff? I mean, I could be wrong, but it does appear that you are making yourself sound as if you have the same powers as the police with that sentence, which of course you do not. You could face prosecution and a fine of up to £1,000 plus any legal costs / and or compensation you may be ordered to pay. This is your last chance to keep your TV license. That there is a very, very, very intimidating paragraph, if you ask me. They try to make it sound urgent, don't they, by saying it's the last chance, but to be honest, they're more than likely write to you in about a week or two, asking you to buy a new one. You need to pay £48.80 now to stop your licence from being cancelled and avoid the risk of prosecution. Now, from what I've heard, the fine is usually around about £170 rather than the actual £1,000 here, which keeps getting quoted, which of course is the maximum that it will be. Take your payment, cash plus or a debit card to any pay point. Who the hell do you think you are giving me an order like that? I don't have to do that if I don't want a TV license, do I? And even if I did, there are many ways to pay for it other than you telling me to take my card down to the newsagents. You can also pay by phone, text, online with a debit or credit card. The payment plan on the other side of this letter shows what you will pay after that. If you have paid what you owe, well actually, hang on a minute, he doesn't owe it, does he? Because the licence runs out on the 31st of December, so he's still licensed. What's your problem? After January the 1st, you of course need to pay it if he does want a TV licence then, but if he doesn't, then he doesn't owe you anything, does he? You just need to make the next payment on your plan when it's due. Yours sincerely, R. Sherrington, Collection Manager. And look at this next bit here to make you worry even more, I'm guessing. This is a notice that unless you act now, your TV licence will be cancelled under section 364(5) of the Communications Act 2003 to make it appear very official. And of course, look, they've made it very helpful for you to pay them the money which they reckon you owe them by putting a barcode label on the letter. If you lose your payment card, use this barcode at any pay point. Or if you don't want to do that, there's a 24/7 payment line with obviously dedicated people who work through the night maybe. On the other side, we've got the payment options available and in a big red circle to make sure you know, and probably to make you even more worried, the amount overdue. Just to make it clear that according to them, you do owe that money. And in a box, the TV and the law. Sounds like Judge Dredd, doesn't it? I am the law! You need to be covered by a TV licence to watch or record live TV programmes on any channel, or to download or watch BBC programmes on iPlayer. This applies to any device you use. It is the law. Well, hopefully it won't be for much longer, because I don't know about you, but I think it's disgraceful that they expect us to pay to them to watch channels like ITV, Channel 4, Channel 5 and any Sky channels live when it's got nothing to do with them. And in bold letters, what will happen now, because they're probably not content with the amount that they may have frightened you enough already, I'm guessing. Your TV licence is about to be cancelled. If this happens, we will check to see if you are breaking the law. And if we find evidence that you are, you would then risk criminal prosecution and a fine of up to £1,000. So how are you going to check then? Surely the only way you can is if your enforcement officers go into people's houses and check. And of course I don't know about anyone else, but I'm not going to let any strangers into my house, thank you very much. Warning, pay now to avoid investigation by our enforcement officers. Or goons as they're otherwise known by. But to be honest with you, I'd actually probably be more scared of Mr. Bean than these guys, because in my opinion they've got about as much power as a person who puts leaflets through your door. I personally think the law needs to change, obviously, to scrap TV licence, but not only that, until then it needs to change to make them stop asking for upfront payments. Payment for a TV licence is £159, which works out to be £13.25 or something a month, or £3.05 a week. And people should not be forced to pay more than any of those for a TV licence. They shouldn't have to pay 6 months up front. People should not be penalised for the way they pay. And in my opinion, all these are good reasons exactly why the TV licence needs to enter the history books as soon as possible. Because why should people keep being intimidated in this way by a company who you might not even need to pay in the first place? Now I've set myself a challenge, and that is to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. I'm really close. So if you fancy helping me out with that, then thank you. That'd be awesome.